So what we're doing today is rescuing this really fantastic urban prairie that has been in the site for about 13 years. When this prairie was first put in back in 2012, it was known it was not going to be here forever. It was basically just kind of holding down the fort, if you will, before a new medical center building was going to come online, which is what is happening. We're essentially digging as many of these plants as possible and distributing them to other urban conservation sites across the community.
This was always intended as a living nursery as well. So even before this rescue today, it's provided plants for at least 6 different projects. Now it's going to go over to Rice, to the Harris Gully Natural Area, and it's going to do amazing things. So the genetics that are here, the cover that it's going to provide for wildlife is going to live on over at Rice, and we couldn't be more excited.
See, we have all our wonderful volunteers here digging the grasses out for us. They're taking clumps of grass. We can take those and split them into multiple pieces. So you see we have this really nice root system here. These have these really good, thick, tough rhizomes. That's one of the things that makes these grass so long-lived and tough. These hold a lot of nutrients for the plants, a lot of starches, and it helps them to be somewhat drought resistant as well.
We have these holes that we've dug. You have to get them to the right depth. You don't want it to be too far down or too high up. You add some water, you make sure that the root ball is a little bit loose, you put it in there and you pack soil in and you hope for the best. In order for a restoration to be successful, you have to have the right nutrients in the soil to support the prairie long term. And it can be really difficult to get that starting from the base succession of nothing here. And so by bringing in some later successional plants from the old prairie, we're introducing some different proportion of nutrients that's going to help this soil continue to support plants in the future.
It's important to me to be working with the Harris Gully because it's a great learning tool. It's also just good for people's mental health to have a pocket of nature.
Believe it or not, prairies actually do a little bit better job than trees do sequestering carbon because they store all of that carbon dioxide in the rhizomes underground. If a prairie burns, most of that trapped CO2 actually stays underground. Whereas if you burned a forest, all the CO2 would go back in the atmosphere. So they're actually being used as tools right now to address carbon sequestration and carbon drawdown. And so this is going to fit in really nicely with Rice's desire to be carbon neutral by 2036.